listening to Turning Hard Times into Good Times with your host, Jay Taylor. If you have a question or comment about today's show, Jay would love to hear from you at 1-866-472-5790. That's 1-866-472-5790. You can also send an email to questionsfortaylor@gmail.com. That's questions, the number 4, Taylor@gmail.com. Now, back to our program.
Welcome to this special Turning Hard Times into Good Times interview with Chen Lin. This is being recorded on March 23rd, 2020. You might want to jot down Chen's website. It's chenpix.com. Go to chenpix.com, and you might want to consider subscribing to his letter, especially after you hear what he has to say in a few minutes from now. He has had a very successful track record over the last couple of decades, and he's a very good friend of mine. I know him well. And he is a very trustworthy and honest person who also has a heart for others. He cares for others. He's been involved. His work in many ways has been showing his concern for others, less fortunate people. So that's another aspect of Chen. But he's also been a very successful investor. So before I say hello to Chen, I should remind you and tell you and thank the sponsors for making this show economically viable. Our sponsors for the show today and through the end of this month are RN Resources, Ely Gold Royalties, Great Bear Resources, Hannon Metals, Irving Resources, Lion One Metals, and Noble Resources, and Sitka Gold Corp. I must tell you that the companies that are invited to be sponsors on this show are first vetted by yours truly for my newsletter, Jay Taylor's Gold, Energy, and Tech Stocks. In the midst of these life-changing events in America and around the world due to the coronavirus, I am doing a series of special Turning Hard Times into Good Times interviews with letter writers and people that I think can help us see how to navigate our way through these difficult times. And you can listen to them on my podcast page at J. Taylor Media, or you can go to my YouTube channel. That's the J. Taylor Media YouTube channel. Now let me say hello to my good friend Chen Lin, who shares his unique and very profitable investment ideas that he applies himself. He shares them with his paid subscribers. Thanks for joining me, Chen.
Thank you for inviting me. Pleasure to be here.
Always good to talk to you, my friend. Now, first I'm going to ask you, how are you and your wife and your 2 children coping with this, with these life-changing issues that are taking place now?
Thank you, Jay. Yeah, we are doing fine. The kids are off the school, and I'm trying to every day find the time to play with them outside, outdoor, to have some sunshine. Today actually is a rainy day, so yeah. Probably will be off. But when the weather become better, we try to give them some exercise, keep the body strong, so to cope through this special time. And also, I also wish to tell everybody the most important thing is to keep your body strong, because seems to, from New York, almost 90% have very little symptoms. The strain of coronavirus in New York area seems to be weaker than other places, which is a very good thing. But it's still very deadly, and we need to be very careful, very vigilant. Right? And there's still not enough testing in this area. Next to my home, they're called PNC Center. Right? You drive to my home, you can see PNC Center, the exit before. This is the second New Jersey testing site. And it just opened today. Within half an hour, it was full. They used up all the testing kits, so they said, let's close it. I just heard it hours ago. Let's close it and then come back tomorrow. And people have been waiting there since 5 o'clock. Early morning they just get the test. It's horrible. And also in New Jersey, not in New York, New Jersey, there's 80% chance of positive, which means they only test people who have symptoms, but there's 80-90% of people don't have symptoms. So what we saw, the number in New Jersey actually is the tip of iceberg. There's a big iceberg underneath and a big population of carrier who has no symptoms. So we've been very careful. We don't go out. We stay at home. We may go out like once a week or every other week to buy food. Otherwise, we just stay home.
Chen, I wonder, because the system can be overwhelmed with this. All these people, a lot of people just want to make sure they don't have it or whatever. So there are some guidelines as to who should seek to be tested and who shouldn't. I mean, if you don't have symptoms, I think they're not wanting you to get tested right away because they want to have that for people. Even the people that have symptoms, a large percentage of those don't have COVID-19, I believe.
Right, exactly. So that's a difference between New Jersey and New York. New York, I think, is 80 or 90% are negative, right? So actually you test a lot more people than the coronavirus infected sick people. In New Jersey, just the opposite. It's 80 or 90% are positive. That's the scary part because they really, at least in New Jersey, they haven't tested enough.
Well, how would you account for that?
Oh, because you think about that, all the people went to test, right? Went to test is 80 or 90%. Most are positive. New Jersey is very unique among all the other states within United States that we have. Majority are positive. Usually you test 10 people, you have 1 or 2 positive, right? So people have symptoms, they may have other symptoms, may have a flu, may have just a fever. New Jersey is like you test 10 people, it's 8 or 9 is positive.
But how do you? But I'm wondering, Chen, why would there be such a difference?
Well,
do you have any theories?
My theory is really New Jersey haven't tested enough. New Jersey is one of the states that doesn't have enough testing capacity. The people infected probably much more than people who already tested because, as we know, 80-90% has no symptoms. Usually, right, in Asia, you look at the South Korea or Hong Kong or the other places, the success was if someone is positive, you test everybody who has been associated in the past a few days. Anybody, right? So, and then see if there's any virus around. So you need to test a tree of people, which is the same thing what they're doing in the Senate, right? They're doing in Germany. Merkel, when she went to quarantine, and then she has to be tested every day for the coronavirus. So anybody who tests positive, you're supposed to test, a few dozen people around that person. But anyway, those are separate issue. But I hope they fix the issue at the PNC, and then tomorrow people don't need to wait for hours and then couldn't get tested. I mean, the Garden State Parkway you see from the Skycam was jammed because people went to try to get tested. And then those people who try to get tested usually has to have a doctor order. You need to be doctors say you need to be tested. Those are the people who wanted to be tested. So it's not very pleasant around my home.
So people that are lined up at the PNC Center have had or should have had a doctor's order. Is that right?
Yeah. Usually they need to have a doctor order in order to wait in line to get tested. Right now, it's not everybody want to get tested. You can get tested. That's the procedure. So anyway, but those are separate issues. I hope they fix it. I hope tomorrow they have all-day testing and then we get it over with. But today it's also first day.
Yeah.
They open. So it's the trials.
We had Dr. Quentin Henning in a special interview last week, and he really hammered home the threat. He said people are not taking this that seriously, and in fact, I was reading an article just this morning about a respiratory therapist in Louisiana who said that he didn't take it seriously either until he started seeing some of his patients dying, essentially, and they were on, the highest level respirator they could jack it up to, and he said it was just like their lungs are just filling with fluids that don't allow the air to get into their bloodstream, and it was an awful the way he painted it. He said they sort of joked about it initially. Well, it's no big deal and all that. But when he started seeing his patients die, he took a completely different view of it. And it was just, if you read the article, it's just really, really alarming. And so this is nothing to fool around with. And he said, by the way, it's not just old people. It's not just people that are 70 and 80. Younger people, some younger people too, are having very significant problem. So, I think this is really a very serious, situation, Chen, and I know you agree with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And also, just on the side note, all these respirators. What I talked to the doctors in China, they found your lung is full of liquid, and then sometimes respirator wouldn't help. Actually, pushing the liquid down. Actually, they need to be some kind of a tube or some sucking thing to suck the liquid out.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, there are a lot of they cut open a lot of body and find out the liquid actually drown the person. Okay.
Yes, it's like drowning. Yes.
Right. So you need actually, for those people who unfortunately get into that, or your beloved had coronavirus, that's one of the way to save the life, to actually suck the liquid out, and then use respirator. That's what I heard. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But also I've been in constant communication with China, and obviously people in China was very angry, right, with the situation. They just went through like hell, and a few months of lockdown, particular to those, mayors and, the province, they locked down the Wuhan a week earlier, they would make a difference, right? They just 1 week would have made, but they were trying to cover. So, but those people are fired. They probably will go to jail soon.
Oh boy.
But let's look forward.
Yeah,
So the things I got, quite a few advice. I got very good advice from my contact. One is to have an oximeter. I think we discussed that.
Yes, we did. And thanks to you, Chen, we went out and bought one, and we check our oxygen in the blood content every day, and we're very pleased with that. Thank you for.
All right. Yes. Yeah, you're very welcome. So in the latest smartphone may be able to do that, but not as good as a real oximeter, right? Because that's designed to check that. That's why that's very important. If your oxygen level start to drop, usually it's a sign of a severe coronavirus, a symptom. And then if you can have a 1 hour, even 1 hour head start can save your life.
Sure.
So you need to see the doctor immediately to get on respirator or get out the other treatment, because there are we saw this potential to kill the virus. Right. The problem for those people who are on the respirator was it's very late. The lung already got damaged.
Right.
So you want to kill the virus before they really damage your lung or other organ. Okay. Another thing I heard, Jay, this is specific for the young people, that after coronavirus, right, for the man, there's some man they lost the ability for reproduction. So even so. For those young men, it's not good. And they think they're immune from coronavirus. There's some other side effects as well. So I have to take it very seriously.
For sure. Well, we certainly do. And I mean, I don't like, this is an unpleasant subject, but many of the things we talk about on turning hard times into good times are unpleasant, because I believe you need to deal with reality, Chen, in order to make a better life for yourself and your family going forward. So sometimes you need to deal. You can't just put your head under the sand. That's for sure.
Exactly. So one more thing I say, advice I got is in your home, you try to get a virus-free environment, and then some areas maybe usually your porch or your garage as this semi-contaminated area. So basically, you get your mail, you get a package, you can put there, leave there for a day. Usually the virus will be on. And then most importantly, if you walk outside, New York City, I heard right now, is like a new Wuhan, right? So you walk outside, underneath your shoes, the most likely place to get virus actually is underneath your shoes. So it's very important to take off your shoes. When you go there, leave your shoes on the porch or in the garage, and then change, and then take off your jacket, leave it there, take off your hat, leave it there, and then go inside and wash your hands. So actually, don't bring any virus into your home, into the the cleaning environment. You can imagine all these virus, they're little droplets in the air, they last for certain time, and then it drops to the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you walk, and actually underneath your shoes is actually the area very vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can wash it. You can use those sanitation spray or something.
Sure.
That's another way.
Sure.
So if you don't have but the easiest is to have a semi-contaminated area.
Uh-huh.
So you put it in the garage, leave it in garage or on your porch.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be very helpful.
Oh, sure.
And so can reduce the chance of getting infected.
Oh, very good advice, Chen. Thank you for that. No, and I know in visiting you and your wife and family that you do that as a normal practice, take your shoes off before you go in the house, which probably makes a lot of, not only you save the housekeeping work, but also keep a cleaner environment, a healthier environment as well. Very good advice. Well, thank you for that. Well, eventually we believe this will pass and we'll get on to more normal times, hopefully. I guess one more thing, there are a couple of drugs out there that were tested in southern France that seem to have some great potential for killing the virus, or at least reducing its severity. Might you want to just talk about that for a moment?
Right. Yeah. That's a very promising. Okay. Those actually, if you read, thank you for sending me the article of the French doctor. So they what they did was that they actually this originally was trial in China, right? So the Chinese doctor trialed all the different ways. This is one of the approach, and then the French repeat it, and then they try to do some combination. Actually, the result was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a very promising, and I heard they're going to start testing this week. And also, the Gilead has another antiviral drug, and very promising. I sent you a video last night, interview of Dr. Fauci, right? So he's mentioning they are doing which is in China, it's regarded as a gold standard, that they take recovered patients' blood and then take their antibody and then put in the very sick patient. Usually when you recover, your body has an antibody against the virus. That's use the very same antibody against the very same virus. So that seems to be another approach. So there are ways to tackle the virus. But the key, as I said, we mentioned before, is try to get early detection. Try to attack virus before you have an organ failure. That's very, very important.
Sure.
And so you have a time window. If you detect it, that's why you need an oximeter. It is really life and death, right?
So you can move.
People still dying in China, not because they have a coronavirus. This old patient, their organ failed. They're on respirator for weeks, if not months, and then they finally pass away. Very unfortunate. Yeah. So you don't want to get into that situation.
Yeah. Good advice. All right. Well, thank you, Chen. Well, but now switching to the markets a little bit. Certainly, this is going to have a devastating impact on GDP on not only the United States but countries around the world. But we're seeing with so many people not working now for who knows how long. Hopefully, not too much longer, but it's going to have devastating impact on the economy, and the equity markets seem to be sniffing that out to a great extent. There's massive decline, one of the most rapid declines that we've seen in the equity markets in some time. You wrote a note to me this morning suggesting that this might be the week for the big flush out, or the final flush, I think is the way you put it. Are you thinking that might be the case for the general equity market, or what are your thoughts there on that, Chen?
Yeah, Jay. I feel first, usually, if you look at the back history, 2000, 2008, all these gold usually recover first, okay, before the general market. In 2008, for example, and vivid remember, gold was 3 months, bottom 3 months ahead of the general market. So I always looking for gold as a sign of the market direction, okay, because that's a leading indicator. For gold, what I heard was in China, in Asia, mostly recovered, okay, and people look at their playbook, they say, wow, my God, so much stimulus. It's the trillions of dollars in the U.S., and then trillions of trillions in the Europe, and then trillions of trillions in Asia as well. So it's such a massive money printing, and who knows how high the gold will be. So there's a massive buying of gold and silver in Asia. Okay, and then they couldn't get physical. The dealer, even jewelry dealer, they try to get physical gold and silver for potential demand. They couldn't get it, get hold. That's what I heard. So actually, there are people actually have to go to the future market and to buy those paper gold and paper silver just to hold their place. So, and then those people, those people have a little bit longer point of view, right? Gold can go to 15, go to 13, go to 12. Who knows how low this time gold can drop? But we know next year gold can go to 2,000, 3,000, even 5,000 is not out of the question, right? So I mean, they just try to average down. They're just trying to take a spot. They don't want to miss the ride.
Well, Chen, just a minute ago, I noticed that gold was up over $50 on the cash market. It's $46.80 right now today. Do you think it's possible that we've seen the bottom for gold?
It's very possible, right? So we saw the gold seems to be testing the low, right? Gold hit a low when the rumor that Bridgewater was running into trouble, right? So that's when the first time gold hit the bottom. It was very hard. Hit 1450, I think, and then it seemed to try to retest, and then bounce back. Right now, I see it at 1550, right? So it seems to me gold seems to have a double bottom. Even though we communicate privately, and then there's a chart pointing the gold want to test the solid support at 1400. Jay, I do not know. I do not know how, if they will test or not. I was just still arguing with another good friend of mine who's more on the Armstrong, camp. They think gold will drop further.
Yeah.
I do not know. I really don't know if the short term it may go down. But we know in the midterm, long term, it's very, very bullish. So why don't I just want to take a position so I won't miss the trend ride. You wait for 1,400, wait for 1,300. Yeah, you get maybe $100 cheaper. So what? It's going to be $1,000 more higher in a few months or a year. You know what I'm saying? Why do you? I don't want to miss the ride.
Right, exactly.
That's what I was saying.
So you're keeping some, you're probably, knowing you're keeping some dry powder at the same time, because you're always seeing other opportunities as well. And I want to
get... in different areas.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have an energy portfolio, but them smash will hit very, very hard.
Yeah, so let me ask you, so what are you thinking about energy now? We've seen oil down around $20.
Right. Oil has been very bad. I mean, I have a Energy Junior was hit very hard. I can't get out. So that's a very unfortunate situation, especially in the oil space. But fortunately, my company, mostly like my big holding, Pan they have very strong balance sheet. They're buying back share, and then they're very low cost producer. The cost is like $7 Canadian, something very low cost. So they can still survive. They will survive. Okay. So, but my natural gas place in Colombia, Conoco, is doing well. They pay pretty nice dividend. That's one of the stock I would recommend because they're 80% a fixed contract, right? 60 contract. And then they're also, I'm trying to see, as I mentioned, there's a refiner called Valero in the United States. It's a big company, and their input is oil. They use oil as input price, so they shouldn't be sensitive to oil price right now, paying more than 10% in dividend. It's like it's down so much they pay, but they only pay off half of their cash flow. So they seem to very strong balance sheet. Little debt, but they have $2 billion or something, 2.5 billion cash. So they seem to be, a good one. Good guy. I want to build a position. One reason about that is when we have a little bit. Right now, their gasoline demand probably low, right?
Sure.
So is aviation, diesel. But when we have a little bounce back this stock will do well. And I see the dividend is kind of secure if we have 3 to 6 month interruption. If it's longer than that, they may have a little bit trouble. But those have a good balance sheet. So those kind. But I'm most excited is gold. Okay. It's
all right.
Gold.
So
Give
me one or two of those, Chen, real quickly, if you could.
Right. I think the first order of business is to buy the royalty company. Okay, the royalty company is also hit very, very hard. They will throw away with, baby throw away its bath of water.
Yes.
You can have, I like a small royalty because they hit harder. And so when they bounce back as more, and then they have a strong balance sheet, some pay very nice dividend. One's Cisco royalty, one's Sandstorm I like. And then there's also a little royalty company, the EMX royalty. So I feel because right now there's company closure, there's the mine closure due to coronavirus. Okay, we discussed that. I thought through over the weekend. I also discussed with a lot of people. In some mines, they may need to be closure because of they have a very wide open workers from all the different areas. But if the mine is in a remote location, usually the workers they also have a distance. They also wear those masks, right? When they're working, it's part of the business. So if the only weakness seems to be their dorm, right? The place they eat, they sleep. So if the company can exercise extreme caution, and then to measure, and then that everybody who has fever or even do some testing, it seems to be okay. And in general, miners are young and strong, So not to be understating, I think most mines should be okay, especially in the remote location. But if you're not sure, just buy the royalty company. Because we know royalty company coming from many other projects, many mines. One mine has like a month or two closure, but they also have other revenue streams. Plus, usually the royalty company have very strong balance sheet.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm just looking at some earnings estimates, and these were fairly recent, Chen, and we're looking at companies like Agnico Eagle, Barrick Gold, Franco-Nevada. There's a royalty kind of a company that I think obviously a senior. Kirkland Lake, Newcrest Mining, and Newmont Gold Corp. And, we're looking at, if you add all the earnings projections by the analyst up, last year was $5.19 from all those companies. This year the estimate, and this is a very recent estimate, is $8.17, and then $9.93 for 2021. Actually, 2020. We don't have the 2019 is $8.17. So my thinking is, Chen, and let me know if you agree, is that we're likely to see some pretty bad earnings reports from this quarter when they're reported, and probably next quarter too, given all of the carnage that's going on in the economy here due to the virus. But the gold companies should, by and large, show pretty good earnings reports, I would think, and it's hard for me to see how money won't flow from some of those other areas or cash on the sideline now that people have built into gold shares.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, energy is a key cost for the gold company.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of gold companies operate outside United States. Look at how much Australian dollar went down, how much Canadian dollar went down. Their cost is going down. The gold price in the local currency is going through the roof. Right?
Yeah.
Even it's not hitting new high in the U.S., but hitting new high elsewhere. So the margin is very high. There is a risk. I agree. The coronavirus. We saw that New Gold shut down Rainy River for 2 weeks, but I think that's a special situation. Also, the McEwen also shut down the mine, and then because Argentina is special decree, right? So there is individual cases that you have to be careful, right? If the balance sheet is strong for your miner, and shut down for a few weeks, if not a couple months, it's okay. Okay, people need to look forward. But also, if you are afraid of individual miners, you just get a GDX or GDXJ or the royalty company. I feel they are very cheap. And then you don't need to buy it at all because the market will go up and down like crazy. You just buy it when they come in. Put a low bit, right? If you can get, and then make sure you hold on to it, okay? Because a lot of royalty company, even gold miner, they pay very nice dividend.
Right.
And also on the side note, the area seems to be less impacted by this coronavirus is the South Africa and South America. Most of the country, or
All right.
Argentina, yeah. So that's the area you might consider. Those companies are less impacted.
Right. Good advice. Well, Chen, just before we let you go, I want to ask you, because you do specialize in biotech stocks, do you see anything out there now that might be related to the coronavirus that people might want to look at, or any other biotech stocks that you think are really a good bet right now?
Yeah, thank you, Jay. I invest in different biotech. There are a few related to coronavirus that I discussed last night. Dr. Fauci already mentioned this is a top priority for the United States to get recovered patient blood to cure coronavirus, which is, exactly what I heard from China. This is like the best way to treat right now, the best way without other medicine. And then so I have this company, ADMA, that actually have a patent for getting all these corona strains to make to take those antibodies, and there's the only U.S. Own U.S. listed. The others are big, other foreign companies to do those blood IVIG, those antibodies. So,
right.
So I think it has been going up since Trump's conference call last Thursday, but it's still very cheap. So that's one of those.
All right.
A few others, but this one seems to be a solid one. We know it works, and highly recommended by Chinese doctor now. Dr. Fauci also mentioned it's a top priority of the United States.
Very good.
Mentioned last night.
All right, very good. Well, Chen, thank you for spending time with us, and I really want to keep up with what you're doing. Maybe we'll do this a little more often now in this environment anyway. So thank you so much for being with us today. Well, that's all the time we have for this special recording, but I should mention that next week on March 31st, Doug Casey will be with me to talk about how the coronavirus will spark the Greater Depression and what that might mean for you, not only in terms of the dangers that lie ahead, but also the opportunities that this unfortunate event might present. Also, you won't want to miss what Chris Taylor of Great Bear Resources has to say regarding the ongoing exploration and development of that company's major gold discovery in Red Lake, Ontario. So that's it for now. Until next Tuesday on the Voice America Business Channel, goodbye and God's blessings to you.